You're listening to the Get Rich podcast. This is not a financial advice podcast. This is a podcast with two friends talking about how to get rich. Thank you for listening. Hello again, my good friend Tyler, my best buddy and partner in crime and podcast co-host and founder.
Have we committed crimes? I don't know if we have. Trespassing. And that's probably it.
We've committed trespassing crimes together, yeah. I've committed other solo crimes back in my youthful days. But yeah. We don't need to get into that unless maybe for an episode.
Moving violations. We've probably been in a car together speeding.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Hi. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Awesome. I present to you this day another idea that is amazing.
Hit me with it.
Okay. Let me figure out the best way to word this. I want to sell plants, seedlings, and cuttings to people who will pay too much money for them.
So like a plant nursery.
You're supposed to say a joke there, Tyler.
I don't always have jokes, John.
Okay, well, we can cut this. Cut it, and insert joke here.
You didn't. You were talking. I couldn't think of a joke. All right. Okay.
And we're back. No.
Try again.
I want to sell cuttings, plants, seedlings, possibly even seeds to people for an absurd amount of money.
So we are committing crimes.
No, not those kind of plants. I mean, maybe one day if Florida legalizes it or something. I just want to get rich. Get rich.
Get rich. Get rich.
So I'm gonna start a podcast.
Get rich. Get rich.
How come no one's ever done this?
Get rich. Get rich.
Now it's time to
get rich.
So what kind of plants are we talking?
Okay, so the other day,
yeah,
I was doing my day job, driving around town, taking pictures of houses.
Which is its own hustle. For real.
It's
we can get into it a different day.
Maybe we'll do an episode of... I don't know. But anyways, I was doing my job in town, and my wife...
Yes.
My wife, she... you got to throw in a Borat impression when you can, man. But she was like, hey, I just saw on a local Facebook plant group that this super rare plant is for sale in Publix. Publix is our local grocery store.
And Publix has rare plants. Doesn't that like decrease the odds of it being rare just off the jump?
Well, there's a whole story to this. So I went to the Publix. She saw the Facebook post about. They're like, they're all gone. They all got gone in like 2 hours. They got.
Okay.
It's a super popular plant. It's called a Thai constellation Monstera. Insert picture here.
I don't understand why. There are so many plants that you have already and that you can grow and that are already growing as part of your yard and garden and whatever.
I don't know why certain things get popular or viral almost in a way.
So she had to go Pokemon on it.
She had to find the rare shiny hit.
Yeah.
Or I had to find it for her. So I went to that Publix. Hey, we all sold out like in a couple hours. But I met a super nice lady. She's like, let me call this other Publix because I'm pretty sure they got some too.
So she's like, hey, not here. Like, meet me out back.
Yeah, if
like,
you want the good stuff, you got to go somewhere else. So I went to she called the other one. They're like, hey, yeah, we got some. We still got some.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a Facebook post made at that location, I reckon. So I go there.
Okay.
They had like 6 or 7. I proceeded to take pictures of all of them so my wife could pick the one she wanted the most. As I was waiting for those pictures to send, a lady came and got one. These things are like hotcakes. They just boom, boom, boom. You better get them while you can. And that's where I come in the future.
And you're just like, hey, I'm taking this one. Did you just act? Did you wait for your wife,
well,
or did you just
I tried
like
to
move?
like stay close to him, kind of in a guarding position.
You were manspreading.
I wasn't well, I was in a defensive, protective posture.
Yeah, you were shop spreading.
I was doing whatever I could to, hoping and praying that the one she eventually picked didn't
still
get
available.
taken, and we lucked out.
Yeah,
We got it.
You could have just put them all in your cart until you walked
No,
around. I
I'm
know
not
that feels
that-
wrong. That does feel wrong. I agree.
I'll assume a defensive position,
Yeah.
but I won't like hoard.
Got you.
You know, I'm not going to be that guy.
Because it's like, if you think I'm being aggressive, that's on you.
Yeah, right? That's up to interpretation. But if I like stick them all in my buggy,
Then you
when they're like about to reach for one,
then it definitely feels wrong. I got you.
nah, I can't be that guy putting, all the supply of toilet paper in his buggy. It just never could be that guy. So anyways, plant secured. Do you know how much this little potted plant was? I'm almost embarrassed to say, but I looked at it as an investment. So,
I don't, because I don't really go plant shopping.
You want to guess? Just it was $40 for like a little potted plant. It's about that big. But look it up, Thai Constellation Monstera. I did some more research. Potted ones of the similar size are selling for what I bought it for, $40.
$40 is the going rate.
I saw some for $50 online.
Okay.
So I got an okay deal. And the thing about these plants is you can just pretty easily take a clone or take a cutting
yeah.
and root it, grow more,
Okay.
turn that $40 investment
Mhm.
into hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars down the line by either selling the cutting for like 10 or $20, which you can do. I looked into it. There are people who are just selling like a little cutting with
You're not even
roots
like, okay, rooted. Okay.
for like 10, $20,
okay.
as well as, take a cutting, get it to root, put it in soil, then you can sell it for 40 or $50 down the road when it gets big enough.
As far as like time and other supply investment, you might be better off just selling the cuttings then, right? Like just like
Perhaps,
turning around.
because that you could probably get it to have roots in a week or two if you use like a root hormone and stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
This is ridiculous. I just want to go ahead and say that.
Well,
Like, the way people spend money is ridiculous.
I am just supplying the demand that's out there. I don't know why these certain plants and stuff go viral or get super. Pull up a yoga video of a woman doing yoga on YouTube. She's gonna have a Monstera plant in that video.
And the more rare the Monstera, the better.
Yeah, the better the whatever.
Do you think they get their own views? Like, hey man, check out this Monstera in this video.
Maybe there are like a bunch. Like my wife
got
watches.
spots.
My wife watches some YouTube women who like do homestead stuff, do like
Yeah,
gardening stuff, and
Is Monstera like a Florida native?
I have no idea.
Because that's my big thing.
I mean, I can look.
Like-
We're not planting it outdoors.
Well,
I
yeah,
think it's
that's
like
great.
a weak plant that won't survive outdoors unless it's the perfect
Like
condition.
lilies and things like that. And there's all that. There's the whole lily thing that people love them for that. Or no, orchids. It's orchids,
Okay,
not
so-
lilies.
Monstera is indigenous to the hot, humid tropical forest of Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and Panama.
So it could almost,
It could maybe in Florida, but
but not in the cold months.
from what I know of this plant, it's pretty finicky.
yeah.
Like if you plant it outdoors, you gotta take care of it still. You can't just plant it out there and it'll grow like this huge thing. I'm pretty sure when we went to like a museum somewhere and they had the tropical exhibit,
Yeah.
there was like huge monsteras, but the humidity was like crazy and the temperature was controlled there
Okay.
like perfectly.
Yeah, like elephant ears. Elephant ears do like crazy things in different places. So like elephant
Yeah.
ears in our area, you might get them to be about 3 feet tall and the
Yeah.
leaves about 2 feet tall. When I was down in Tampa, there was, I saw elephant ear plants that were 10 feet tall and the leaves were monsters.
Yeah, they're pretty similar looking to
Yeah.
monsteras, but they're like the ugly
Yeah.
stepchild.
They kind
or
of are.
the ugly duckling of like monstera.
Yeah.
For real, they're popular. Pull up a YouTube yoga video, you'll see a monstera with the woman doing yoga. It's crazy. But this isn't the only like avenue we can take. There's lots of other avenues. There's lots of other plants. I should have did a little more research maybe because I can't name any right now.
But the idea is that you buy rare plants,
Yes.
clone, harvest, whatever.
Clone, sell the cuttings, but also there's the whole seed market.
Yeah. And cloning a plant is not like, it's not the same thing as what people think, like cloning animals. It's like it's a different process. You're taking a cutting and then growing that cutting to a new plant.
Yes,
so it is genetically the same thing.
The same exact thing.
But it's something you can do at home. It is, yeah.
Don't ask me why I know the terms for all this or anything. Like,
but the interesting thing about that, and you told me this years ago, was like, however, since it is a clone, but it's genetically the exact same plant, but it's also, like the telomeres, essentially. Like the age of the plant is still the age of the plant. So my plant that I started 20 years ago, I give you a cutting of it today. That cutting is still like a 20-year-old plant.
Yes.
And so if the plant has a lifespan, then it still reaches that lifespan.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the lifespan of plants. I think they can live...
Different ones have
a long time as long as you just take care of them.
So I just think that's a point to be made.
That's super neato, Tyler.
You do want to restart a plant that you clone. You want to have a new one every now and then and not use the same one forever.
Yeah, I think I've heard, like, back in the day when I was doing more research in this for other kinds of plants. So a plant grown from seed will always will always be, I don't know if the right word, stronger, more
resilient
than a cutting. So that you don't want to like clone clones really, I don't think.
Probably not. And my thought is because of that age issue.
But yeah, the one you clone is called the mother, and then the clones are the babies, the clones or whatever. Are we already ready for a commercial break?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And now, a quick word from this episode's sponsor.
Hello there, I'm Neal, the proud owner of Neal's Knickknacks and Decorations. Here at Neal's Knickknacks, we specialize in coasters and art. Someone saw some of my test cuts splayed out on the table there and tried to give me $500 for the wall art, so you betcha I jumped on board. If you're looking to keep your tables nice, a pack of coasters will set you back about $20. If you're trying to hang them on your wall, well, friend, I've got a deal for you. $80 for a set. I also started selling the sticks and twigs from my yard if you're interested in that too. We're having a great day down at the shop, so come on over to Neal's Knickknacks and Decorations.
And we're back.
So, my first point on this is the whole Florida native thing, because that's a thing I want to rant about. Like, just to be honest, because it's like we have flowers in our yard, right? And in the front, in the back, whatever. And my wife, she doesn't worry about them, but she worries about them. It's the sort of thing where it's like, man, I wish that those were doing better. And
when's the last time you checked on them or watered them?
Yeah. And that's not a judgment on her. We're busy, and honestly, they don't. And my position is,
you gotta set up that drip irrigation, man. That's like the easiest. You throw a little switch and everything gets watered.
That's a great idea, but my position still is that if it doesn't survive on its own, what's it doing in my yard? Like, and I don't say that my yard, not your yard. What's it doing in the yard? Like, I don't want to be out there like nursing these things. Like, I just want it to go. I just want it to do. Like, we have gardenias. Love them. They just go.
Yeah,
we have hydrangeas. They just go.
Those are all native, and they're perennials or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, sure.
Well, there's perennials and annuals.
Yeah. And perennials stick around, and annuals
they'll
come back
every year, which is the thing. If you want flowers in your yard, people, get a perennial. Get something native. That way you don't have to just keep buying annuals every year.
It's
wasting
a joke.
Money.
It's a joke.
I mean, if people want to do it, though, I could supply them to them.
That's true. That's so...
Don't listen to me.
Don't listen to him now.
Buy annuals from me every year.
Every year. The good ones. The expensive. The rare ones.
They're super rare. You got to have the rare one. Got to catch them all.
Trademark. Possibly. You gotta buy them all. Gotta have them all.
Gotta buy them all.
He has a punch card that he'll do, and you can punch them off, and that way you know you got it or not.
Your planty decks.
Yeah. Ooh, there. So that's my thing. It's like the Florida native matters to me only not because I'm worried about it spreading. And like if it spreads, then it ticks my box already. It's like, is it going to survive on its own? good.
Oh, not
Like,
only
I
is it
don't-
surviving, it's multiplying.
It's like, great, okay. This is something that I'll put, I still cut it down, whatever. That's my point. I don't want to have to take care of these things. And if these aren't necessarily native to the area, then that means you can't just grow them outside.
No.
So where are your operations at? If you have a Florida native, then you can grow it outside and then sell that like a big nursery would do.
Yeah, I could. I was thinking more of like the high price, rare house plants. I didn't
Okay.
even, honestly, until you mentioned it, think about growing stuff outdoors.
Yeah.
In my head, I just envisioned like a big mother plant, and ever so often taking cuttings,
Just-
rooting those, shipping them off in a wet paper towel or whatever you got to do to let them not die. And that's where my head was.
So just inside.
That's what I was going to do.
Okay.
You can like put a lot of clones in a smallish area. They don't take up much room.
the air quality in the studio is going to be great.
It's going to be amazing. We'll be breathing the most
It's going to be so
best-
damp in here.
rich oxygen ever.
Going to be so many little flies zipping around.
No.
Gonna
Plants
drive
are,
me crazy.
no, plants are good, man. I'll put up some fly traps.
Have
It'll be
you-
fine.
You know, now that I'm thinking about it, have you thought about orchids? Have you looked into orchids? Are you familiar with orchids?
I'm familiar with orchids, and I'm also, every time I see them at the store when I'm getting my wife roses or flowers,
Yeah,
all I know about them is they're super high maintenance and finicky.
they are.
I don't know if they're easily cloned.
Probably not.
I know there's like rare ones. I know there's like orchid people who like, I've seen like videos, probably in movies, don't know if it's real, where they're like using a water dropper in specific locations to water them, spraying them in like only one little area.
Yeah.
I know the rare ones can sell for hundreds of dollars. And I just know they're finicky. I don't know anything else about orchids.
Quite finicky, yes. And, you know, here's one that's like selling for $250 on eBay.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
I may need to look into that. I'm not a plant like, what's the word? What's when you're not open? Exclusionist or something like that.
Okay.
I'll take all plants if they're rare. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what size they are, what shape they are. If people want them, I will grow them and sell them to people for a reasonable price.
Sorry, I just saw one that sounds absurd, and so I have to see if that's what it is. Okay. Sorry, something somewhere said $20,000 for this one particular.
I know
And-
plant people, like if it's something that is like almost extinct or from hundreds of years ago, they found a bulb and made it grow. Those things can go crazy.
All right, I'm not
prices.
seeing anyone else that says it's that much for that type. Okay.
Maybe it's a rare phenotype or something. I don't know.
Still, that's $250 for one plant. But again, it could be too much work. And the return
do
on
some more-
investment.
I'll do some more research. It's like I have Monstera.
Yeah.
If you listened to the podcast earlier, I got one. I got a Thai Constellation Monstera.
If you're not just coming in after the commercial
Yeah,
break.
you know, if you
Like,
if you were
what?
listening before, I have one. I have it. I got to grow it.
Are you
I can
worried
sell
that
it? I can start. Like.
Are you
the
worried that the
business.
chapter marks people are gonna like
Listen.
start cutting into the middle of an episode? It's not like live radio where it's like,
This
oh,
is
if you missed the first
a
half.
live studio recording? We're live streaming right now. No, that's where I'm going to start. The Monstera.
Yeah.
It's popular. There's demand for
And
it.
$40 is plenty.
$40
$20
is-
for a cutting is
Yeah, I'd probably
crazy.
do it for 10, and you can get a bunch of cuttings. like-
yeah.
But that also made me think like how to sell these, whether Etsy, eBay. Like I almost want to like start a website or like an app or something where people can request stuff, and then I can like fulfill their orders maybe or something. I don't know. If
A
that's
website
way.
would be way easier.
Yeah, but an app sounds cooler.
apps sound great.
Like apps are the new website, Tyler.
Yeah. That's most of what apps are anymore. An app is usually just a front for it's like a user interface for the website.
Yeah.
That's why it's like do you have a website? Yes, I'm not going to download your app. Like why? Why? The user
It's
experience
easier
might be
to
better.
use sometimes.
Yeah. You know how long it took me to download a banking app? A long time. I was like, why? Bank of America, whatever, judge me, has a website.
Okay. They do.
So, yeah. But the good thing, though, is that you're knowledgeable about this.
I have some knowledge about
you
plants.
You have plant experience. Like,
I have experience with
especially houseplants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done research. I've done things with plants. I've grown them.
You dabbled with outdoor plants.
I've cloned them. Yeah.
A lot of it mostly indoor.
Yeah, back in my days,
Yeah.
when I was a youth, I was a little horticulturalist, let's say.
You didn't always sell seeds, though, from what I understand how that works.
My goal with these plants I was growing was to have no seeds.
Yeah.
Since Amelia, they say. So, anyways, I think this is a good idea.
Saw them, though.
I think this is a good idea. You weren't my customer base. Anyways.
I guess not.
You said earlier you're not a plant guy. So, this is a great idea. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
No startup costs because I already,
you've got it now.
I got it now.
You've made the investment.
I made
your
the
wife.
investment, $40. I just have to nurture this plant, let it grow a money tree, pretty much. Maybe that could be this
That's
episode.
a great tagline.
Money tree.
Grow
that
a
could
money
be the
tree.
episode title
That's
as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen like that, but here we are.
Nah, money trees, baby. I'm going to grow money trees. I'm going to cut off the money and make people give me more money for it. And
I'm waiting for the web series. Like here's my wisteria, my monstera, whatever it's called. Not a wisteria, but here's my monstera, day one.
Yeah, I could do a little plant vlog or something.
You should.
I can.
I want to see it now.
We have video capabilities now.
Please do.
So I'll start a little plant blog, And I'm telling you, man, I think this is a really good idea.
This is a good idea.
Thank you. You're being very supportive this episode.
Because I know you know your stuff.
I'm
you
an
know how
expert
to
in the
take
field.
care of the plants.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to the Get Rich podcast. Go to our website, getrichpod.com, or email us at jnt@getrichpod.com to let us know what you thought about an episode or to submit episode ideas. If you really want to support us, subscribe to our Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/getrichpod. Subscribers will have exclusive access to vote on ideas we try, access to videos of us doing the ideas, as well as weekly bonus content. Thanks for listening.